Recording in progress.
Yep. Good morning, everyone. So yesterday we started discussing about CSS 2D transforms. So we learned about CSS 2D transforms. We will see all the transforms, what they are actually. So one example is this is a transform. Yep. So here we learned about how to set up transform. In a transform, we have options. Transform 2D have first one is translate. Translate purpose is, so it is used to move element. So along X and Y axis. So what are the methods it is having? So we have translate. Translate is shorthand. Shorthand means all directions. We can give both horizontal and vertical. We have translate X, we have translate Y. That is any specific direction. If you want, you can control. That is to change the positions. So we can change the position along X and Y axis. This example I showed here. So on mouse over, its position is changed from the X position. From X axis, the position is changed on mouse over. Now, suppose you want to change along Y axis. This is translate Y. We can use translate X. If I define translate X, it moves along X axis position. That means it moves from its position left or right. That depends on how much value you given. So that means the object will move from its place to right. Right or left, you can give minus value for negative for left. So you can change the position for that. Suppose you have the option translate. I given this is for black block. Suppose I given here. So this is a white block. For white block hover, I will give transform, and we have translate. Translate, this is Y. So 10 pixel. And the transition, 1 second. Time 1 second I defined. Then this is horizontal and this is vertical. That means we can change the position of element horizontally and vertically by using this technique, right? This is changing the element position horizontal and vertical. For that, we have translate X, translate Y. If you want both directions, how do you write? You can write translate. Translate, you can say 10 pixel and 20, 30 pixel. This is both along X axis and Y, right? It is going to translate both directions. So now, while working with the transforms, one option is translate. Translate means changing the position along X axis and Y, right? Next important. So here I will copy this example. We can change the position like that. Now another method, this already yesterday I explained. Another method is we have scale. Scale. It is a transform method used to change size of element. So size of element, which includes width and height. We can change the size of element which includes width and height. So actually we have scale. Scale is shorthand for both width and height. Suppose we have scale X. This is for width. We have scale Y. Scale Y is, this is for height. For height, you can control the width and height of any element. So by using scale, we can make the element size. We can change the size of element. So how we define? Actually, syntactically we define like scale. Transform uses scale as 1. Here 1 is equal to 100%. You want to define some values. This is 100%. Suppose you are configuring 1.5. That means it is 150%. We need to control like this. We need to configure in this way. So transform uses scale. Scale can be x-axis, y-axis, but the values are mentioned not in pixels. The values are mentioned by using 1, 2, 3 like that, where 1 is equal to 100%. For example, I want to increase the size of element. So then you can apply. But here one important note I will give. So the note is you cannot apply multiple transforms for one element. So you cannot apply multiple transforms for one element. So the last defined transform will apply. That means suppose for any element you return like transform as a translate x some 300 pixel you return, and transform translate another one is a scale is 1.3 like this you define. Then so this scale is applied. So this is applied and this is overwritten. That is overwritten. That means now translate X will not work. Which one will work? Only scale. That means whatever latest transform you given, only that will work. If you want to apply multiple transforms, then what you have to do? You need to use alternate techniques. We have alternate techniques, we will see. Initially, by using transform, you can apply only one. You define multiple, only the latest is going to work, right? So here I will remove this now. Let's create another one. Let's add another transform.html, and let's add a page. Here I'm keeping a simple image source. So we have public images. Some image is some ASP.jpg. Now I will keep the style in the style body. So we just keep display flex, justify content center, align items center, and height as 500 pixel. This is just one image is present. That's the image we are having, and it is the original size of image. Now we want to control its size, right? So what we are doing, so for image, I am giving image. Initially transform scale. Scale is both directions. I am giving 1 means 100 its original size, and I give transition 2 seconds, and image, when image transform, so scale this is suppose 1.5 and 2. That means width little bit, height is more. Then transition is 2 seconds. Then you can see this on mouse over, it should work. We have to use here hover. Okay, then on mouse hover, it is going to change the width and height. We can control the width and height of that particular element. That you can do by using scale. Scale allows you to adjust the width and height. Only one you want to apply, then you can use scale X. Scale X means only width. Then you have to mention only one value. If you are mentioning both values, then it is just a scale. So you can apply the width and height for that. So that is usually done by using transform scale. So another example, and this is for which one? Scale. So what is translate? Translate is moving the object from one position to another. What is scale? Scale is to change the size of object. You can change along X and Y. Next option, we have rotate. So it is used to change the orientation of element by specified angle. By specified angle, it can change the orientation. That means it can rotate. Here we have same methods. Rotate. Rotate is shorthand. And we have rotate X. So we have rotate Y. That is how we can control. Rotate is same. Syntactically, we define transform. So here we are writing transform. And we have rotate. Rotate X or Y. It takes angle. Angle is defined 45 degree, DEG. The angle is defined in degree. We have rotate X, rotate Y, or both directions you can mention. So that is usually rotate by specified degree. So that is used for rotating the elements. For example, see now, same I am defining here. Let's take this example now. I will change this. This is image rotate. Rotate 0 degree is there, DEG initially. Suppose I will say rotate X 0 degree. And here I will give rotate X. Rotate X angle. What is that angle? Suppose 45 degree. So that is rotate. Now along X-axis, image is going to rotate like this. It is going to rotate. So I will give, it is only 45 degrees. Suppose 180 degree I will give. 180 degrees, then along the X-axis, it will be in this way. 180 degree, it is going to rotate. It is displaying. Horizontally, vertically, you can rotate. So you can give along which axis? Y. Along Y axis you define, then it rotates in this way. Horizontal, it will rotate. You want both X and Y axis, then just rotate. Just rotate. And it is going to rotate in this way. You want, so opposite direction, then you can give a negative value. Counterclockwise, minus 180 degree. Then it will display rotate opposite direction. You can rotate along X, along Y, or any direction that you can manage by using transform rotate. Right? This is another example for rotate. So these are simple things. We can use them later while designing good animations. Options are simple, but it takes a lot of work to design good animations. Actually, in CSS, very complex animations can be created. For that, we take help of all these techniques, right? So actually, we build even very complex games also. Games, right? Lot of online games are built with a lot of CSS. Earlier, we have to depend on a software called Flash, but now browsers are not supporting Flash. So now people are designing with the help of CSS 3. So currently, which version of CSS we are learning? 3. CSS 3 version we are learning. In this CSS 3 version, so these are the new things. You learned all selectors now. That means valid, invalid, required, hover, active. These are the new concepts of CSS 3. In only CSS, we don't have modules, classes concept, right? CSS 3 introduce all these concept of modules and classes and inheritance and all, right? So if anyone asks which version of CSS you currently used, 3, right? What is, if anyone asks what is the new in CSS 3, I will explain later. I will tell you already, because we haven't learned any new version, we don't need to know that. But people sometimes they know some old CSS, and now you say so many new classes I have learned, then he will ask which version it is. Right, in this version we have some new things, so many classes I explained, right? So technically in CSS 3, so we have some additional attributes and effects, so which will be more effective. We will try to use these in designing some examples, right? So this is CSS related, which option? Rotate. We have one more, another important in CSS, that is skew. Another is skew. Skew, it is used to tilt. It is used to tilt element by specified angle. Same, it is used to tilt elements by specified angle. You can tilt, tilt by specified degrees, right? So slant, like. So actually we have options same. Skew, this is shorthand. And we have skew X, we have like skew Y. These are the skew options. So the same, just how you use this. So syntactically, so we have transform. So skew X, some degree, 20 degree, like this. You can make the elements tilt by specified angle. Skew, that is for tilting by specified degrees, right? You see now here, I'm just changing this. Instead of rotate, I'm just adding, so skew X, I'm just giving skew X, and skew X is suppose 20 degrees enough. 20 degree, it skews and it will tilt by specified angle. Tilting the image by specified angle, that you can manage by using skew, right? So a lot of 2D shapes are created by using these kind of effects, right? Suppose here one more option is there, another one. So we can use the skew, which direction? Y. Skew Y, suppose 40 degree, then skew Y will be in this way. Along X and along Y, we can change the image, right? So this is tilting the image by specified degrees that you can do by using skew. Here also opposite direction means you can give a negative value, right? Negative angle. So that is skew. Okay. Now what are the transforms we have? How many transforms we are having? 4. So one is translate, another scale, another one rotate and skew. What is drawback? What is drawback is it will work only one. Only the latest one will work. If you write all the transforms, only the latest one is going to work. Now, how to apply multiple transforms? You can't apply all at a time, but one option is there. We have a matrix. Matrix is used to, it is used to define multiple transforms, multiple transforms. But not all. It is used to define multiple transforms, but it have a specific sequence. It have a specific sequence. So technically it is having a specific sequence, right? It is used to define multiple transforms, but it have a specific sequence. What is that sequence? So the sequence of transformation, what it is, the sequence for transformation is actually matrix sequence is very interesting here. We have matrix. Matrix uses first scale X. After that, it uses QX. After that, it uses QY. Then it uses scale Y. After that, it uses translate X and translate Y. This is the formula for the matrix, and this is the order for matrix. Matrix works in this order. So matrix don't have rotate. There is no rotate for matrix. Matrix can use scale, skew, and translate, 3. So why we need matrix? Because multiple transforms cannot be applied. If multiple transforms cannot be applied, then we need to define by using this, right? We need to configure by using this. So for example, you see here, so matrix scale X, skew X, skew Y, and scale Y. This is order. If you miss the order, they don't work, right? For example, let's see here how to define the options. So first thing, so for image, I will just give here matrix. First, I will give 0, 1, and 0, 0, and 1. And this is suppose 100 and 100. Or this also I will give 0, 0. That's the option here. Now I'm giving here on hover, I'm writing matrix. So 1, so 0, 0. So this is 2 and 0, 0. Like this we define. Actually, that is the matrix value I defined. You see here. Why? Because what is the matrix value I given? So matrix value, first value is what? Scale X. Scale X is horizontal, right? Second one is skew X. Skew is empty. Skew is not there. Skew X, skew Y not there. Scale Y is there. Scale Y means height. Scale Y means height will increase. Translate X, translate Y are 0, 0. Right? Only height is increased. Why? Because you changed only scale Y. Right? Suppose I will change this first one also. That means width and height will adjust. Width and height and adjust. It's not continuous order. First scale X. After that, the fourth position is scale Y. Right? You have to define in that order. Now see here, I'm giving 100 and 100. 100 and 100. That means it will move also. That means it is going to move and change the size. Suppose I want to move more left. Translate X, I will give as 300. That means it is going to move more right side. Translate X means X axis position. It will move more X. Suppose I'm giving like minus 300. Minus 300. It will be in this direction. It is changing in this direction. X. This is X, Y. What is this one? Skew. Skew means tilt. Suppose I given here skew X, skew Y. That means 10 degree. Then it will be like this. So 10 is very huge number. Suppose I will give as 2. And you can see small. This is actually 2 means 20 degree. Right? It is going to mention in this way. And here we are mentioning this also, suppose 2. And you can see it is displaying like this. Because both opposite directions you cannot give at a time. One direction is X, another direction Y. If you see this kind of effect, the blinking like, that means you given some wrong values. Wrong values means you are rotating right side, left side at a time. Then where it will go? That means you need to give only one direction here, right? How you need to handle. You can change reasonably, you can add the directions. Reasonably, you can add the directions. Then it will work. Right? It is going to work. So it is going to change its position and it is going to repeat and display in this way. So the matrix values usually will be like this. That is the matrix position. So that is the matrix position, how we can control, right? So I will give here how to define the values important. Scale. Scale is defined in 1 is equal to 1 implies this will be how much? Scale is 1 means 100. So skew is also is defined as 1. 1 indicates how much? 10 degrees. So we have translate. Translate is 100. 100 is equal to how much? 100 pixel. That's how we have to mention the values. So if you mention wrong values, if you try to write degree or px, they will not work. Right? You need to configure like this. This is actually scale 1 means 100% actually it is. So if it is 1.5, that means it will be 150%. Like that, it will control by percentage, right? This is the matrix value, how it works. So you can apply multiple transforms, but still not satisfied with our own effects. If you want to create your own animations and effects, there is another technique. So we call that as keyframes. We will discuss that, how to use. Initially, this is example. Let me copy this example for matrix. Actually, it is not necessary that you have to write through hover animation only. Without animation also, these transforms are used to create a lot of logos, to create a lot of orientations of contents. We use this mechanism. For example, see, suppose I will create here, means with, it doesn't means that transform means you have to use with only animation. That means hover, timing, that's not necessary. For example, see here I am giving in this page, suppose we have class layer 1. So we have another div, so class layer 2. So we have 2 layers defined here. So layer 1, layer 2. Okay. Just only 2 layers I am configuring style. In the style, I defined layer 1. So layer 1 background color, some yellow. Okay. And layer 2 is a background color, some red, like this. And actually, so both the divs, A different width and height also we can keep. Here, layer 1, so the width is 200 pixel, height as 300 pixel. And layer 2, so the width is some 150 pixel and height is 250 pixel. Like this we are defining. Now you can see actually that is two elements here displayed. These are the two elements we are having. So these are the two elements, 100, this is. Now what we are doing here, so for this, I'm keeping all these two layers. I will keep in a div. Okay. Then for body, I will keep display as flex, justify content center, align items center, and height some 500 pixel. And here, so these are at the center now, right? This is at the center. Okay. For these two layers, both layers are present. I am giving position as absolute. And here I am giving position as absolute. Absolute means they are one after another. They are one over another. This is absolute position. So I will adjust the height to 400. This is absolute position. Now see what we are doing is for layer 1 or layer 2, which is red. So we are adding transform. I'm adding a transform for that. And transform, what I am doing is skew. Skew which direction? X. X I given 20 degree. Like this I define. It tilts like this. We are changing its position. That means we are tilting in this way. Now, for example, now what we will do here is for this layer 1, suppose both are having same, say 150, 150, 250 right here. And what we will do is for this position, so we have transform. Transform is what? Skew. So skew X as minus 20 degree. Like this I defined. Then it will be in this way. Right? That means, for example, so I defined this also 20 degree. It is same. Right? That means it is behind. We can move the margins a little left or right. Suppose I give an absolute here. Absolute means you can move its place. Which one you can use? Right, left, like that. Suppose I'm not giving skew X here. I'm giving skew Y as 20 degree. It will be in this way. We can rotate. You can define in different angle. That means you see, suppose I'm giving an option like rotate. Rotate 20 degree. That means the yellow is rotating 20 degree. Rotate 180 degree. 180 degree. It will be like this. And rotate which direction? X 180 degree. You can change these positions, placements, alignments. That means you can use different options. Suppose I give skew X as 180 degree. These effects we need to keep. This is not required. How many degrees we can give? 20. Suppose I am giving this as minus 40 degree. So that means it will be in this way. These kind of logos, banners, anything overlapping, slanted, all these kind of things are designed. You want to adjust the size. Then what you can do, you can apply matrix. No? You can configure the matrix and you can apply effects for that. Suppose you see this red and yellow. For this red, I want to apply matrix. How do we apply matrix? What is the first value? Scale 0, 0 I given, another one So 0, 0, I defined in this way. Right now you see here the value is 2. Then it will be in this way. Right. So value is 1.2. That means it will be in this way. We can make these objects rotate in different directions. We can make it rotate in different directions. Right. These kind of shapes, some examples I will show you in a later stage. That means we will discuss about a concept called canvas and all. We will see. Canvas SVG concepts will be there. There we will use. You saw our bootstrap icons. Na? The bootstrap icons are designed like this one. That means you saw home icon. How home icon will come? One line slanted, another line slanted. These two are combined, then it will make a home. Combination, all these directions we define. Such icons are designed by using combination of SVG, canvas like option. Those you need to learn by using JavaScript also, because through JavaScript we control the coordinates. X coordinate, Y coordinate we will define for them. Then we can draw images easily. Remember, lot of coding is required to draw good images. People think that we can draw good images by using some pencil or pen. Right? But actually through coordinates only you can create more good images, accurate. Suppose if I taken you here, this one, you see, suppose I taken a pencil in the paintbrush. In the paintbrush, we taken a brush. If I asked you to draw a straight line with this brush, then it is difficult. It is difficult. Then you use a tool called line. Why? Because this line is designed through a logic. That logic is nothing but from starting point to ending point, draw a straight line. A program is written behind. Right? In that case, it will be more easy to do that. Such program, if you know, you can create good diagrams, more effective diagrams you can create. Right? So don't think that these transitions, transforms are used only with animations. They are not just for animations. There is a logo, you need to rotate by some degree. So you need to repeat, slant it. So then you can add such effects by using this. For example, I hope now you can try this logo. We have Netflix logo. Now you can see here. So the Netflix page. Netflix, Amazon, Netflix are there. This is Amazon. Netflix is I think Netflix have some issue in opening. Yeah. Now in this Amazon, where you can see them, I will show you some angle, degrees, rotated like options. You can see here itself, you see some images are there. You see, this is the image. This image is actually slant. So by specified angle. Right? You can take one image and you can make that slant by specified angle. This requires which option? Skew option. Actually, where this Netflix is unable to open. Actually, you see, let's Google images. I will search for Netflix logo. You see this Netflix logo. Now you try to create this type of logo. Right? You try to create these two, this one and this one. Can you do that? Just you have to increase stretch, scale, one scale height, increase, decrease. Right? And remember, these are letters. And you can try like this also. You can try this type also, right? What are those actually divs only? They are divs. That means how they have done. Suppose just rough point I will tell you. How they have done, these two banner layers are there. Na? So these two layers are there, that is yellow and this. So width suppose 50 and 100 height or 200 height. That is one image. Let's open that. We will remove other options. Transform and all these we will remove as of now. And width we will give 50. Suppose we are defining in that way. Now this is there. Right. So both are one on another. Na? That means now what we have to do. So this red little bit slant I want. Then how you can do? So we have to use what? Transform. Transform skew. Suppose I given skew x, skew x 20 degree. See what happens. It will be like this. Skew x is 20 degree. Right? We can move specified. Now important. Suppose I am defining skew y. Skew y is 20 degree. It is like this. Right? Skew x is 20 degree. It is like this. Right. Now, what about this position? So transform, what is it? Skew x is minus 20 degree. And you see it will be like this. Suppose I'm giving here. So for layer 2, so margin top minus 30 pixel. That means it moves little. Margin top minus 40 pixel, then it will move top. So we are giving, what is it? Margin left minus 40 pixel, then it will move like this. I give minus 50 pixel, then it is going to move. So minus 60, and you can see it is moving 70, 80, it will be in this way. Understood? Like this, you must able to design that logos. Right? This is all done by using stretch, skew, rotate, and changing the margins and positions. I just created a V here. Right? So different logos and banners you can create like this. Right? That's what actually the concept of transforms. It's not just animation. We don't use transition hover every time. We just build such boxes, right? That is done by using this, right? I will copy this, just rough example for you to try. Okay, you can try this. So this is just to understand that lot of logos, banners, and lot of animations, everything are done by using this. Now, these are all CSS related what effects? 2D. Next important, we have another one, CSS 3D. 3D transforms all are same as 2D. Only one dimension extra will be there, 3D. But actually, I will give one example, you try others. But actually, 3D, you cannot see 3D until or unless you set the correct environment. For example, a 3D movie is coming in a TV. Can you feel 3D? But the movie is 3D, right? And you are watching without 3D glasses. It doesn't look 3D, right? That means 3D effect is not in the presentation. 3D effect is in how we view it. The viewpoint is 3D. Right? 3D depends on how you view it, not on how it is created. Right? That means, so to apply these 3D transforms, you need to give good effect, then it will be fine. Right? If you don't give correct combinations, you will not see them working, right? So 3D transforms. So 3D refers to three dimensions. Dimensions X, Y, and Z. So all transforms are same as 2D. Are same as 2D. So with additional which one? Z axis. With additional Z axis. That means we have translate 3D. So you have like scale 3D. So you have like skew 3D. And you have like rotate 3D. Rotate 3D. That's it. So others, and individually they have translate X, translate Y, translate Z. So scale X, scale Y, scale Z. You don't have any matrix for 3D to define. It is just only by using these options you can configure. Matrix 3D will be there, but there is no use of matrix 3D. We will just refer with translate, transform, translate, scale, skew, and rotate. I will show you here how to keep the 3D, because 3D can be controlled only by using what? 3D can be controlled by using good combination. I will give here. So just 3D example I will give. One example I will give, others you can try. Suppose I am adding a mark here. So body div, yeah. So here I am adding a mark. Already we learned about mark. So mark have some image source. We have images, and in images some ASP.jpg. So this is width and height are defined 100. Similarly, I have another image, right? So AWS. Okay. We have like UI, or say some course related DM. Yeah. Another one is DS. Okay. These are some images we are having, and all are kept in a mark. Let's keep the style and the body. So the body display as flex and justify content center, align items center. Okay, height some 300. Fine. Now this is the mark we are having. I just kept the mark here. Okay, that's the mark we are having. Let's say mark for mark width as suppose 800 pixel. It will be from here to here, and for mark here we will give scroll amount. Scroll amount is some 10, so it is little fast in scrolling. That is the mark size. We defined 800 pixel. It is there. Okay. Mark will have padding as 100 pixel padding is there for the mark. And you see in the mark we have images. What I will do, image. So actual transform scale. Scale is a scale. Actually we have scale 3D. So we have scale 3D. Scale 3D, three options are required. So X, Y, and Z. 3 are defined. Earlier, we need to use only 2. So here we have transition. Transition is 2 seconds. Okay. And on image hover, transform, scale 3D. In 3D, I given like some 2, 2, and 2. Like this I define. Now, additionally, here also transition is 2 seconds. How do we make it look like 3D? Because actually, now you see, when I move the mouse onto the image, that is the images we are having, they look like normal, right? What I will do is for every image, so margin, I will keep 50 pixel. All directions image margin is 50 pixel here. Now I will do one more work additionally here. So this is 2. Okay. Now we will give one more option for this images, whatever we are having, we will keep one alignment. So I will write here, mark you on mouse over. On mouse over, this dot stop. That means it will stop. On mouse out, this dot what? Start. This we will define. Already this I explained while learning the mark you. Now you see, when I move the mouse onto that image, then it is going to zoom that image and display. But it looks like normal. It looks like normal 2D. But we are using 3D. But it doesn't look any 3D like here. Because that depends on how combination you give. To make it look like 3D, see what I'm doing. I'm using a shadow, box shadow. Box shadow, I will give as a 10 pixel, and I give 2 pixel, some black. So that is the box shadow. Once I give that box shadow with 10 pixels and all, now you can see that image will be like this. Now it looks like, say, it comes out of the page and displays. But this is perfectly done only when you are using a correct combination. Otherwise, it doesn't look like 3D. 3D is not just the effect to apply. 3D depends on how you give the combination for values. Right? If you give the correct combination for the values, then 3D will come. Right? This you can add for various options. That means you can add for rotate, you can add for transform like this. This is this is one simple example of 3D, right? But similarly, you try others. I will upload one document. In that scale, skew, 3D, some example will be there. You try them, right? Because we should not much concentrate on drawings, designs, and waste the time here, because this is not the major part for us. So we just need to know them, right? We don't need to invest much time in doing all the time waste drawings and designs, right? That is not required for us, because our interviews majority work, they will not give any CSS work. In your interviews, 95% questions and programs will be JavaScript. 95% complete UI people's interview will be JavaScript, right? 95%. And not even 1%, they will ask you about CSS, right? Means 0.5%, 1-2 points they will ask. They will not even ask you to design anything with the CSS and show. They will simply test your skill, because software developer skills are not tested based on his drawing skills. We are not selecting artist here. We want a software programmer. That means we need to test his logical skills, and that is tested only through JavaScript. That's the reason your complete concentration majority should be on JavaScript. That is where you have to crack your jobs, right? And these are all required, but these you will later use in different occasions and you can easily handle them. That's not an issue. So that's the reason I will just give one example, you try. So how to handle these other 2D and 3D options. So we have two types of transformations. What are those? 2D transforms, another one 3D. 3D. So here one important note is there. Actually, so several browsers cannot handle transforms. Several browsers cannot handle transforms. Some browser issues will be there. So that is the reason developer have to use transform with various plugins. We have to use transform with various plugins. Developer have to use transform with various plugins. We have to use the transforms using various plugins, right? Then what are these plugins are nothing but, for example, if you write transform, so this transform and you are writing like some scale. So scale like this you are writing, but this is not understandable to all browser. Then what we do is we use plugins like we have WebKit transform. Like this we write WebKit transform scale. Scale is how much? This WebKit is, I already told you this WebKit. What is WebKit? And it belongs to home. What is WebKit and it belongs to home? In the starting of HTML we learned. No. In the starting of HTML we learned browser architecture. We learned browser architecture. No? In browser architecture, what are the components? In browser architecture, what are the components? We have browser engine, rendering engine, network, UI background, backend, JavaScript interpreter, right? What are browser engines? Name of browser engines. Chakra is there. WebKit is there. WebKit is there. V8, WebKit, Chakra, Gecko, Spider, Monkey. These are all the engine names. So WebKit is for which browser? Remember? I given some browsers engines in the beginning. So this is virtual DOM. Safari. These are the browser engines, right? So WebKit belongs to Safari. So we have Gecko, Spider, Monkey belongs to Firefox. Edge, V8. These are the engines. Actually, because already these we learned in the beginning. So actually, we are not sure which browser user will use. Some transforms may not work. Then you have to write like this, WebKit. Another one, MS transform. Scale, MS transform. This is for home. This is for Safari like browser. Safari like browser. These days, actually, a WebKit is for even Edge also. Edge. So actually, for MS is for Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer. For Internet Explorer, MS. We have O transform. O transform scale. This is for Opera. This is for Opera. Opera. We have like MOZ transform. Transform. So transform, what it is, scale. This is for, so this is Firefox. Firefox browser. So actually, you will see in real-time projects for writing scale, you will see developer is writing 5 times that scale option, same. So that means actually one transform scale is enough, but it may not work on every browser. Then developer have to write every effect 5 times, because we are not sure which browser user will use. If you want, you can force the browser. That means you can ask the user that you have to use only this browser. Otherwise, some of our effects will not work. So for example, I told you now, several websites especially mention about them. Suppose we are watching any website. When you are watching the website, at the bottom, you can see they mention about best viewed on Internet Explorer 8 plus, Firefox 3.5, Google Chrome, like that. You open various banking applications and all, they will warn you first. Because why they have to tell about best browser? Because internet problem is browser dependent. HTML, JavaScript are all browser dependent, including CSS. Browser dependent means some options will work on some browsers only. That's the reason developer have to write the option which can run on every browser, or write for every browser. That is why we need to use these kind of plugins. So this is how we write the transform. That means actually you written transform. Transform is written like this. This is okay. We have WebKit transform. WebKit transform. And we have to define scale. Scale what? 3D. And here we are giving 2, 2, 2. Sometimes people ask like, can I use a different size for a different browser? You can. In that case, what happens in the specific browser, its size is different. In another browser, its size is different. You can control that also. So you can add. Actually, we prefer same, but if you want, you can give different effects also. So like this, for every plugin, we have to write MOZ, what? Transform. What is it? Scale 3D. So 2, 2, 2, like this we are defined. So actually one is enough, but we are not sure which browser user will be using. That's the reason we have to depend on these all plugins. So while working with 2D, 3D, these are important things you need to know, transform, right? Next important, while giving the transform, another one, CSS transition. While giving the transforms and working with transforms, another thing you need to know about CSS transition. CSS transition is nothing but actually CSS transition, already we saw one example. So it is used, to control the transformation of element. Control the transformation of element. Actually, so transition attributes we have. So transition, this is actually shorthand. I given transition 2 seconds, 3 seconds, but that is actually shorthand. We have options like transition duration. We have like transition delay. So we have like transition property. We have like transition timing function. These are all transition related options. These are all the transition related options, right? So actually, previous example, we applied only one. But these are all the transition related things, transition related options. So that is shorthand we applied. Actually, duration means what? Duration means total time taken to complete. Complete the transformation. Delay means time taken to start transformation. And property means, so defines the property name that uses transition. And timing function, it sets predefined transition functions. It will put predefined functions. Predefined functions, we will see some ready-made functions will be there. We can apply them, right? So that is, so transition related options. Transition duration, transition delay, property, and timing function. Let's see how it works. So how these transitions will work. For example, I will give a simple point. So here, let's add one simple banner, just some text, HTML. Okay. Now here I'm defining a div. So this div have a style. So div is having width 50 pixel and background color as red. Okay, and height as 50 pixel. Okay, this is a simple div we have here. Now when I move the mouse onto it, I want to adjust its width, right? Then what we will do is, here we will keep div hover width as some 1200 pixel. That means you see it, when you move the mouse, it will be 1200 pixel and normal. And how much time it is taking to finish the transformation? It's very fast. We need to set timing. Then actually what we do, we have to write transition duration. That is the value actually. Transition duration, how many seconds? Some 3 seconds. Okay, in how many seconds it should go back? That means transition duration. Duration is how many seconds? Some 5 seconds. In 3 seconds it will come, in 5 seconds it will go. That means you see, in 3 seconds and it will go little slow. It is in 5 seconds. Right? That is on transition, it is going to change and it is going to display that. This is duration. And see, when I move the mouse onto it, it immediately starts. It should not be like that. When I move the mouse and hold down, means move the mouse and wait for a few seconds, then it should start. It should not start immediately. Actually, any electronic device, it should not do that. So generally we call that mechanism as in electronics, we have a word called bouncing. We need to control that using debouncing. Bouncing. We have to control that. In any electronic device, in electronics concept, you have this bouncing, debouncing. For example, you see currently we are using computer. In computer, suppose I am doing something here. So what I am doing now, I am not typing. It is not a typewriter. I explained that point, right? Keying in, it is not typewriter. What is difference between typing and keying? Typewriters don't have debounce. They don't have bounce. So keys have bounce. That means, for example, you are using a TV remote and you hold down a remote key and released it. When you released it, suppose you are taking some time to release. Immediately you are not releasing, then that signal will go repeatedly until you pressed. That is not good. That means, because suppose what happens here, I started one key D. I taken small time to release it, but by the time it is typing so many. This is very big problem. So we don't want the task to perform immediately. We want it to wait for some time and do it. That means you press a key and release it. It will wait. It will not do immediately. Because if you press and by the time you release 5 times, 10 times, it will execute. That's not good. That's the reason immediately we don't want to execute. Then how you will delay? That you can do like this. What you can do? So I will give transition delay. Delay 2 seconds I will give. Now what happens is, when I move the mouse, immediately it will not start. Wait for 2 seconds and start. And when I release, when I come out, immediately it will not go back. It will wait and it will go back. Generally what happens, you design some animations. Suppose you created an animation, mouse over, a element will blink and display on screen. Mouse out, it will disappear. Suppose you are giving some offers or something, mouse over, on some message will come and you move the out and it is disappeared immediately. That means before you read anything, it's gone. Right on the screen, you are displaying some paragraph, asking the user to read it. Before he reads, it's gone. Right? So this is not great. Then what you have to do is you need to delay the process. Right? How we can do that? By using transition delay. Transition delay. So that is one important you need to use. Another one property is, see, on mouse over, what are the effects changing for this box? Only width, only width is changing for this box. Okay, we will do one thing. We will change background color also. Background color yellow. Then see what happens when I move the mouse onto it. Immediately it is not changing to yellow. What it is happening? Transforming from red to yellow. That means the timing is used by two properties. Width is using the timing. Background color also using the timing. No, I want only width to use the timing. Background color should not use the timing. Timing should work for only width. Currently timing is working for both. I remove that, you see, slowly it is changing to red. So then we can do one thing. You can simply write transition property. Transition property. You can say only width. You can say width, height, like that. You can write multiple. Currently, I want only width. So that means timing will be applied only for width. That means it will not apply for background color. Then what will happen now? When I move the mouse onto it, immediately it will change to yellow. Then it will change. Previously, what is happening to turn from red to yellow? It is taking the timing 2 seconds or 3 seconds. Now it is not like that. Now here it is normal. Why? Because while going back, we haven't mentioned transition property. Transition property we given only on hover. On hover, what we are saying that don't use the timing for others. Use timing only for width. It will use timing only for the width. Another important, we have timing function. Actually, transition timing function is there. Timing function means ready-made. Where you heard and used this word transition earlier, other than in your technology you are learning? Where you heard about this transition word earlier? Nowhere. You know PowerPoint? You know PowerPoint? In PowerPoint, slides have transition. You know transition. Slide transition means slides will come from left, right, right? You use video editing in your mobiles, right? You will apply some transitions. Transitions are ready-made effects. Here, timing functions are ready-made effects, right? I will apply some ready-made effect. Like you see, a lot of effects are there. I will apply an effect called ease in. When I apply this ease in effect, you see what happens. I move the mouse onto it. Any difference you found? No difference. Actually, the difference is very minor. The difference is it starts slowly and catches the speed towards the end. This is ease in like effect. So we have ready-made. So to make you clearly understand about this, I will do one thing. I will change to blue. Yeah. And to make you understand, I will use an effect like steps. You can easily see now. I will give steps as suppose 15. And here back, go back. I will give steps as suppose 5. Now you can see when mouse is over, so it is blue and it will take 15 steps to go. And when out, then it will take 5 steps to come back. It will take 5 steps to come back. Like this it is doing. These are ready-made effects. Like that, so many effects are there. That means you can see a lot of effects are here. So you have so many timings. You see, these are all different timing functions. Ease in, ease effect. But usually you can observe them. Usually you can observe them only when you clearly examine the effects, right? So that is, you see, linear effects will be coming. Right? These kind of ready-made effects you can apply and configure. That is what timing function. These are all transitions related options. Transition related option, transition duration, delay, property, and timing function. So we learned so many, but still not satisfied. Why? Because we cannot give our own effect. We can create our own effect. Our own effect means some title should come right side corner to center. Again, from center, it should go to left corner. I want my own effects. Then you can create your own effects by using another concept we called keyframes. Keyframes and animations. By using keyframes and animations, you can create your own animation effects. In your own way, you can control and you can define them. If you know keyframes, you can create your own effects, right? Let's see this how to handle in tomorrow's session. Right, tomorrow we will discuss about working with the keyframes. How do we work with the keyframes and deal with them? Okay, tomorrow we'll continue.